So the episode was filmed already, and I just want to kind of tell you guys what we spoke about and what to expect of this episode. So, when Veronica and I are together, we normally talk about dating. So we talk about how to weed out men and find yourself the right guy. As two single girls, we figured if you're going to hear it from anyone, it should be us. And it's just a really fun episode. We catch up on a lot of things. We talk about Miami and just feeling invaded and losing an iPhone and what that's like. And so many other things, and why, dating a guy who's 6'5", trust fund, blue eyes, ain't it? So enjoy this episode. You're listening to the X Podcast. The X you keep coming back to. Before this episode starts, I just want to give a quick shout out to 760 Media. They are located in Montreal on DeCarry Street, and they have everything you possibly need to podcast. If you're recording a song, if you want to rent out a space and do an event, they literally have everything from A to Z. If you're podcasting and you don't want to edit your clips, you don't want to make trailers, they do everything from A to Z. This place is Disneyland for anyone creative. With that being said, I also have a discount code for you guys. So use my discount code XThePodcast at checkout to get 15% off when you book hourly. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the X Podcast. I'm here today with Veronica. You guys might know her. You might not.
I feel like I need the woo sound effect, the applause.
I feel like you're coming.
We don't have that here. We don't have some kind of button. You can put me the sound effects.
I feel like you're coming back on a little too often for it to be you start asking for money.
Yeah, I'm gonna start going in. Don't get me wrong. I still remember the passwords. I'm gonna start doing a little transfer.
So this episode's gonna be really chill. We're just talking about random shit, and we're gonna start with the fucking list Veronica pulled out before.
So, because this is my podcast, apparently, I found a list on TikTok, my favorite place. Which I haven't been on much lately, and we'll get into that later.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
I found a list on TikTok, and it's called "How to Weed Out Men," and I was like, okay, I do a pretty good job already, but let me see what this has to offer.
Do you do a good job?
No, no, I do not.
Okay, good. So that's why we have the list.
So that's why we have the list. I'm actually let me just keep you all here as options.
That's the stage you're in.
And that's the stage I'm in.
Okay, we'll talk about that after.
My little Polly Pockets. Tamagotchis. Who do I want to play with today? Wow, everyone's gonna be like, "What do you say?"
She got rid of the podcast. She became toxic.
I'm not toxic. I just
love
to flirt.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Right?
When you're single, you should be able to.
Okay. So, how to weed out men? Number 1 on the list. Okay. Wait at least a month before you have sex, but don't tell them you have this rule.
So fucking good.
And so I actually think it's interesting because I feel like a lot of the times girls will be like, oh, I don't have sex on the first date, or I have to wait at least until the 4th date, or at least a month, whatever. We say we set these rules for ourselves, and then we voice them. But I think the biggest problem is voicing it, because let's say you're dating a guy. If he doesn't, if he just wants sex, he's just going to wait till that 4th date to sleep with you. You told him the recipe. So it's if you're actually going to be put your rules down and be like, no, I don't want to do this, you can't let the other person know.
It's so true. It's a magic trick is only good when you don't know the trick.
Yeah, exactly.
When you know what the trick is, it's never the same.
Yeah, 100%.
Because if they just want to sleep with you, they're just going to be like, okay, I'm going to follow this rule until I fuck her, and then I'm going to bounce.
Exactly.
You can't let them know what you're thinking.
Exactly.
They can never know your next move.
Never let them know your next move.
Yeah, because if truly you're someone who just waits and it's natural to you, you don't even feel like you need to explain it to anyone.
Absolutely.
It's kind of just well, we're going to see where this goes, and it's a casual thing.
Yeah. But also I feel if someone's really into you, they don't need that time limit. They want to get to know you, you're getting to know each other. They don't mind waiting, even if they don't know when it's going to happen.
Yeah.
They're that's how you know if someone's serious about you or not, I feel like.
Yeah, but I feel like most girls will bring that up and say that when they feel the pressure of the other guy wanting it. So that's already the bad the bad sign.
Is you go wait, 4
You're
dates.
I don't do this right away. It's why is he pressuring you then?
Yeah.
Is that all he wants?
Well, that's how you weed him out.
Yeah. Well, I was talking to a guy, and he was saying when he actually likes a girl, he's not he's gonna like on his end try to not sleep with her on a first date. So if a guy is being too sexual with you after he meets you, then that's not a good sign. What do you think about that?
Okay, I agree, but it's so personal. Like, it really depends the person. Because I know a lot of people that are like, I don't care. Like, I'll sleep with a girl on the first date. It doesn't change anything for me. Like, it's like sex is important for me. The chemistry is important. If the vibe is there, the vibe is there. Which I agree with. I think do whatever you want. But I think for some people, it could be true that, like, if they're too aggressive with you sexually, it's like, okay, well, it seems like that's all you're interested in. I feel like, for the most part, if someone wants to get to know you, they're like kind of like able to just like resist that and be like, okay, I actually want to get to know you. Like, let's not bring that there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I don't know the stage I'm in, and I'm like, I just want a chill guy who's like not actually just trying to fuck.
It's also relax.
Yeah.
I feel like at your big age,
I want to sleep with someone
so
who's so relaxed, they're not even trying to sleep with me. Then I'm literally like, I'm jumping on you.
Yeah, then I'm like, what do you mean? You don't think I'm pretty?
But now we're telling them the recipe. Shit.
But I feel like it's almost immature. This is
I
so
know,
weird.
it's so
but like, I
true.
feel like I'm at the point in my life where it's like, let's say it's something more serious. You're looking for something more serious, and you're like trying to fuck so soon is like,
grow
relax, grow up. We're here for other things here.
And also, like, if you could get to know me and sleep with other girls in the meantime.
Okay. You're going to get this clipped up and sent to you like, but babe, you said.
No, but I'm saying, I feel like, no, a lot of people will get what I'm saying. Maybe
I
not.
know what you mean.
You
like,
know what I mean? Like, fuck the other girl.
get your urges out with the other.
Fuck the other girls and get to know me if you really have to get the urge out. Like, I don't care.
What are you dating nymphomaniacs?
No, I still know you're my. This is sounding really bad. I still know I'm the one.
Yeah.
But with me, you're gonna have to wait. So fuck the other bitches in the meantime if you have to.
Fuck the other bitches, man. I hope we're not the other bitches. What happens when we are, eh?
We are.
He's gonna go, babe, I'm actually trying to get to know some other girl. I don't have time to wait 4 dates.
But truthfully, the reason normally people wait is because you want to actually see if somebody's serious about you.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times, even Wade, who was on my podcast, was saying, if a girl makes me wait too long, I'm like, oh, fuck that. So I think that's where I kind of am like, well, yeah, if you're going to say fuck that, then you were never serious about me anyways. So yeah, great. That's another reason why I'm making you wait.
It's all, but honestly, can I be honest? Yes, we can all be honest. It's all about your values. I think like someone like Wade, like that mentality can really match with someone who agrees with that. And it's like, it doesn't mean he's more or less serious, but I think if you choose to be like, I want someone who values this, you have to stick with it.
Yeah.
So it's like, you can't change your mind when you have someone who's like trying to pressure. It's like, if that's your value, you need to find someone that's going to agree with that. You know what I mean? So I think there's someone for everyone. I don't think it's necessarily bad to be like, because I get that too. Like at a point, it's like, okay, like seriously, you know what I mean? Like it's like.
For sure.
And if that's what you value, it's totally fine. You need to find someone that's just gonna fit with that.
Yeah.
You know? So that's why I just don't want to say it's like one or the other.
No, for sure. For sure.
It just depends. You have to really choose what you believe in and stick with it.
Yeah.
And then that's what it is. That's the recipe.
Yeah.
Speaking of, number 2, how to weed out men. Ask them, what do you believe in? Like straight up, does he have values and can he explain them? And I think that's really interesting. Like,
ooh, because so many people will be like, well, you know, like I'm a family person.
Yeah, but
it's like explain it. Do you see them once a year and you're a family person?
Yeah. Everyone loves to say
Everyone loves to say
I'm such a family guy.
You saw them once in the last 5 years?
Like, you know, did you send your mom flowers for Mother's Day? Are you really a family man?
Do you call your mom often?
But it's just like, I think a lot of the time people love to act like they have values and stuff, but it's such an important thing to actually know, okay, what do you actually believe in? And actually explain it.
Yeah.
It's nice to just pop out the buzzwords, you know?
Yeah.
Traditional, family man, this, that, loyal.
Veronica, what are your values? Explain.
My values?
Yeah. But also
it's a
to be fair though, I hate when people ask that though. It's kind of like when you go, like, I feel like the stuff you actually want to know, you hear in conversations. It's not like, so when you ask someone, what are your values? You are going to get those little
but
snippets.
But explain. What's your values? Like, I could tell you what I value and what I don't value. For some people, it's like they really value religion. And that's important. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm with someone who's like really certain about a way of going about life and that doesn't fit with me, it's like, okay, well, this doesn't work. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I think it's important to see it that way.
Yeah.
There's so many things. Like, I've met people who are like, just have different values to me, have different beliefs. And I'm like, I like you, but this is never going to work. You know?
Explain. Give me an explanation.
I think a lot of it like goes down to being like open-minded. I'm a very open-minded person, and I don't expect someone to be as open-minded as I am. But there are certain things that I'm like, if you don't think the way I do, then we can't be together.
Yeah.
Like, for example, like one thing is like, you know, if you're not as open-minded as I am about like sexuality, and like maybe if you're like making a bit of like homophobic jokes or something, I'm like, that's just not gonna work with me. Like,
Yeah.
first of all, I'm very open-minded, and I have a lot of close friends who are gay, lesbian, whatever. So it's like, why I wouldn't feel comfortable having someone like that in my life. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna try to change your belief.
But how would you get that out of someone?
Always comes up in conversation.
It comes up in conversation, but I don't think it happens when you're like, so tell me, what are your values? No, like I feel like
yeah,
it's like,
it doesn't. In those cases, it doesn't.
Yeah.
But it would come up if someone says, "What's your values?" and say, "Oh, I'm really open-minded, and like I look for that in a partner," and they'll be like, "Oh, like what?" And then like I'll say
fair.
certain things, they'll say certain things, and then you kind of get a gist of the conversation.
Yeah. You know what I find though, guys who are not open-minded, do they really say it? I feel like they act. It doesn't come out at the beginning. You find out later.
Depends the
Fair.
person. Some people
Depends
know
how
how
drunk
to
they
put
are.
the mask. Some people know how to put the mask. Others are like, this is what it is, and they almost want you to agree with them. A lot of people who are closed-minded want you to agree with their opinion. You know what I mean?
So fucking
Like they'll
true.
be like, don't you find this is crazy? And it's like, actually no.
Yeah.
You know, and then you just, because it's
and
awkward.
then the date is, done.
But over. It's over, you know? But anyways, I definitely agree with that one.
That's a good one.
I think even if he's willing to explain his values shows if he's serious about you or not. Number 3, how to know if he's honest. Does he tell you things about himself which are considered generally unattractive? So I think that's interesting. Like if someone will be open about like, oh, for example, like admitting something about yourself, like, oh yeah, like I really like to play video games, or like I love like anime, or something that's like not considered like that cool. But like being open and honest about it is like, okay, so you're not trying to like paint a picture of being like the perfect guy. And I know sometimes you try to do things to be like quirky, but I think it's just about being honest. Like, oh yeah, I have this really bad habit, or like, yeah, it's, it's bad, but I do this. Something that like you could tell they're maybe not like proud of, or is considered maybe unattractive, like generally. If someone's open about that, it shows that they're kind of honest about who they are.
Yeah. So basically being authentic on a date.
Yeah. But a lot of people aren't. A lot of people like try to make it seem like they're so cool, and they don't do. I've had a lot of guys be like, yeah, like I would never do this, or like, yeah, I don't play video games, or I don't do that. And then it's like, I find out later that you do. So it's just like, because they're trying to look like macho. Like,
I feel like I used to do that on dates because I'd be too shy, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I should just really show my personality.
Exactly.
And then I really find that when you actually are just truly yourself, if you're on a date with them and they don't vibe with you, it's just like, it's great because you're just getting to your person quicker because you're not like
100%.
them. So they can't. But normally people are very attracted to someone who's very comfortable in like who they are, their skin, and they're like, it's who I am, it's my personality. I find people gravitate towards that. So don't be anyone but yourself.
I actually rather someone tells me something I don't want to hear, but with confidence.
Yeah.
Then pretend like that's not them. I would be more attracted to you being like, yeah, like I do XYZ, and I'm like, wow, like own it, like that's hot. That's, for me, that's attractive. Whereas someone who pretends they don't but really is, but is just trying to put a mask, that's unattractive. It's just giving insecurity, even if it's maybe what I would want more. I rather you just be yourself and own it. That's so hot. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
Fuck
When
me.
someone
I owns
owns something, it's very hard for you to have any any comments about it. It's like, you're actually just like, wow, I either have to accept this because they're fucking hot for like owning it and loving it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Hold on, I have to crunch this ice.
ASMR?
Okay.
Not me hearing these all for the first time now. I'm curious when I'm going to start disagreeing.
Yeah.
I think it starts at 5. If there's 9.
Maybe. Number 4, he can hide behind words, even actions, but his friends say it all. So this one I think is interesting. I think they kind of mean like when you're hanging out with a guy in like a friend setting, you can kind of get a different perspective on them. You know what I mean? Like they know their friend and they don't know exactly what he's telling you or what he's doing. So you can kind of get a different reaction based on how they treat him, based on how, do you get what I'm saying?
This is my favorite one.
Right? So
Favorite
I think
one.
it's so interesting hanging out with a guy in a friend setting. You really see how his friends see him, which is maybe a little bit different than how he's portraying to himself.
And how you saw him.
Exactly. So it's a more, I think it's a more real version how his friends see him.
Yeah, and I also think you are the sum of the 5 people you hang out with. And I know people might think otherwise, but I really, truly think that.
Yeah.
So if the friends around him are a fucking loser, why is he keeping around? Why is he keeping him around? He's probably a fucking loser.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're just like, you haven't seen it because you're just in this fairy tale. But the friends really say a lot about who your man is.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 5, I guess this is where you start to disagree. Disarm them. If you like them, truthfully tell them. Now, does he start acting cocky or does he soften and thank you for being genuine? So I think that's a really good point. If someone's really interested in you, I think if you're honest with them and you tell them how they feel, like that's actually going to be like, wow, like thank you so much. Like I appreciate that. Like it's going to open up and like soften the relationship. Whereas if someone's not really into you, they're going to start to be like cocky and like their energy is going to change. And I think that's a really good way to sense if someone's serious about you or not.
Okay, well, I'm changing that in my life. This is the first one I feel like I need to start changing.
Being more honest about your feelings.
Here we go. It wouldn't be a Veronica to last podcast without some stuttering. Yeah, no, that's something I'm gonna take from that.
Yeah.
Honesty it's true because if you're looking for a partner and you're ready for that, if you're sharing how you feel and they're like backing away or they start being cocky and they're not like reciprocating how they feel, then you're just look, this isn't it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times we're in a world where we're playing games, so we think, okay, well, I can't be the first one to be like, I like this person. But I think, being open and honest, if it's not it, it's not it. I just think move on.
100%. And it's just going to show the true intentions much more quickly than playing games.
Yeah.
And I know that because of and I know this sounds weird, but I've learned a lot of these things being single and seeing how I act when I maybe am not fully interested in someone or like I just want their attention. I know how my energy switches. So it's like, oh, now that you don't want me, I want you. But if I think about it, it's like, but should he really want me? Like, do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, should I really, like, when he decides to want me again, should he really though? Because I just want you because you don't want me. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. You have to understand your patterns.
It's like when you see it from my perspective, someone where I'm like coming from the other side, I'm like, okay, I could see on the, like if it would be me in like the position of like, they're in the position of power, it's very different.
Can
like,
we talk about that whole idea of like, I only want someone when they don't want me. And then when they want me, I don't want them. I want to talk about that. Okay. Because I'm so over that. I know you're in that, but I'm so like, it's actually, I don't know why, but I'm at a stage where it's like, it's disgusting to me. It's like disgusting to me, the idea of like.
Rewind to where she said, I know you're in that stage.
No.
It's disgusting.
No. When you want something serious and someone is like only interested when you back away and then like they finally wheel you back in and you think and then, and then you're back. I'm like, I'm mad at myself because I'm like, I fell in the loop again. I don't want this.
Yeah.
So like, it's disgusting. It's just like, no, get away.
100%.
But like, let's talk about it on the other side of it. Where do you think that stems from?
Well, first of all, I think naturally we want what we can't have.
Like,
we want excitement, right?
Yes.
And there's no excitement in getting something easily. Like that's just
nobody's saying get it easy though.
No, but I'm just saying like when things are easy, we tend to like categorize them as like not being exciting, not being passionate, not having that like feeling. And so
that's what I'm over.
Yeah.
I'm so over that.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm over. I don't want a guy who like still feels like he needs that.
100%.
He needs the excitement. Like that's why like just do your thing until you're ready. Like I don't know. Like I don't want no games. But listen, the games are always happening. You're either playing them or you're getting played. But like I just need a guy to have like the emotional intelligence to know that like it's not any less good because it's like normal, and I think that's the problem.
I think that's just we're conditioned to like liking this certain feeling. We're told it has to feel this way, it has to be. And I think the older we get, it's difficult because the older you get, the more time you have to experience something that's maybe a little more toxic. And once you experience that like push and pull, even though you know it's maybe not good for you, it's hard to let go of that exciting feeling of then going to something that's very like calm and like comforting, but you kind of miss that energy. But it's also a question of like growing up, maturing, but I think it's also a thing of like knowing what you want. I think in the times where I really know what I want, I don't care about games. I'll tell you straight up if I like you or not.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
But when I'm not ready to commit, when I don't know what I want, when I'm not ready for a relationship, that's when I find myself in the push and pull of like getting into that role because I'm like, I only want you when you don't want me because it feels safe. It feels safe to want you when you don't want me. As soon as you want me,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh my God, what if we get into a relationship? Then what if we break up? Or what if this? Then my mind starts to go. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
So
The
it's two different-
uncertainty
The
is what
uncertainty.
keeps you like.
because I maybe I'm not ready to commit or I don't know what I want yet. That scares me. As soon as I feel like, oh my God, someone wants me and I want that, I'm like, oh my God, what's gonna happen
Yeah,
now?
been there,
You
been
know?
there, yeah.
So I think it's also a telltale if like someone's ready for a relationship,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I think it's a bit of that, and then it could also be a bit of just like being used to that like exciting push and pull. But it's like it is exciting, it is fun, but at a certain point when you're looking for something serious, when you're looking
Yeah.
to like have a more like maybe like settle down, get married, it's not what you should be like prioritizing.
Yeah. For
Is that
example, okay, you know how I never meet any guys in Montreal. Like I'm always like, oh, to go on a date, I gotta leave town, literally.
Yeah.
I met a guy this weekend. And on Saturday, we hit it off. The whole night, we were kind of bouncing from place to place. We were with other friends too. And he was like, I really want to take you out for dinner. Okay. And I was like, yeah, for sure. But in my head, I'm having anxiety. This is bad though, because I'm ready for a relationship. I know
Yeah.
what I want. He had good characteristics. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, nice to vibe with someone in this city. But then again, he said he lives like in Miami and New York. So it's like all the things were right for me that it was
Yeah.
like, we're not stuck here,
Yeah.
basically. And so the night goes well. And then he's like, I really want to take you out next week. And I was like, oh my God, next week is Grand Prix. See, but I'm ready for something.
Yeah.
And I should be like, well, fuck Grand Prix, like,
Yeah.
if someone's gonna take you out on a Thursday, Friday, even if it's a parade, if that's what you're ready for, then you should be ready to give up that date.
Yeah.
And I'm not. So that's where I feel like there's a lot of crossovers. But it's Grand Prix. Fuck off. Anyway, so he's like, what day are you free? And it's Saturday at this point. And I'm like, well, we could do Monday. Because I'm like, hey, do Monday. I'm not.
Just give him Tuesday.
I just thought like Tuesday, there was things I had to do. I was like, no,
Okay.
Tuesday's not going to work. So when we were out for drinks, I said, okay, Monday. Okay. So the next day comes. So we met on Saturday. Sunday, I'm out with a girlfriend. I bump into him. Never met this guy in my entire life.
Oh,
Okay.
it's always like that.
It's always like that. Now I'm like, hey, like, what are you doing? It's just like, oh, you're just like, wasn't planning on seeing you now. And whatever. So I'm just in line and I'm getting something to eat. And whatever, we're just talking. And he's like, yeah, I'm really busy. Like, I can't do Monday finally. And I'm just like, I'm done with you. Like, I know it sounds really bad, but I'm like, I'm done.
Well, I don't agree because you just said that you were busy the rest of the week and you could only give him Monday.
100%. This is where the crossover happens.
Yeah.
But I think, like, why are you, like, what?
Well, why
one's-
couldn't you give him any other day?
But first of all, yes, 100%, 100%. He's like, I'm really busy, Monday to Wednesday. So now I'm like, oh, he's tapping into the
Yeah.
Grand Prix days. Now I'm like, but it's just for me. I'm like, I don't know. I don't like the canceling.
Okay, well, when it comes down to just the canceling itself, I don't like that because it's like if we agree on a day, whatever. But I will
No
say
one's too busy for you. That's the thing. No one is too busy for you. Yeah, I'm agreeing.
yeah.
I'm saying I'm not giving him my other days,
Yeah.
but no one is too busy for you. Like what? You're busy at night at 8:00 at night to do dinner. Like, yeah, me too. I'm working in the day. Like,
Yeah.
you can find time to do a little dinner
I
date.
just think if you commit to something, not following through with it is a bit like,
He
okay.
followed through, but the way he followed through was because we bumped into each other by
Yeah.
accident, which is all of these situations are just
Yeah.
off. But anyway.
But I mean, I think if you really like someone enough, like if I literally found a guy, I was like, oh my God, I'm literally in love with you, I would
Yeah.
be like, Grand Prix Saturday night.
Shut the fuck up! I think like
No, but
I think it's
if you
because we
would
wait
date a-
all year for this amazing weekend, so it's like
I mean, I don't look. If he was my dream man, he'd say, "I'm actually going out Saturday night. Want to come?" And I would be like, "Woo!"
yeah, because I know what's
I
gonna
actually-
happen now. I'm gonna bump into this guy, not have done the dinner, and now
Yeah.
it's like, oh hey. I feel like you lose that at the beginning. If it's like it's hot, you should do the date because I think like it's gonna start to become that thing where it's like, hey, well, I'll just see her out, and I don't like that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. Because then you start. Then how do you go to a date after? Like,
I mean,
running
you
into each other?
could, but it's just
I understand your point of view.
Yeah.
I think you guys are both in the wrong there.
Because I explained why I didn't want to give him the weekend, or else I was in the clear.
Yeah.
I was in the clear to be like, I don't know, I don't like the canceling.
I think you get a one-time. The way I see it, you get a one reschedule. Even after the one, I'm like, but you get a one-time reschedule.
But hear me out. You're really into the girl you met. You vibed and everything. you're going to take the risk on canceling. You can't be that interested in me. So that's therefore
what it is.
Therefore, it's done.
Depends what it is.
I have a point. I have a point.
If I was really interested in a guy and I'm trying to think if there's something that I was like, oh my God, like if I had something and I knew I wouldn't be able to be ready on time or I wouldn't be on my best self or I couldn't have things organized, I would just be like, oh, I'd rather do this when I'm in a place where I feel like, okay, I can show up, I can feel confident.
Yeah. But I think a girl's able to do that. A guy's not. And hear me out. A girl, before a date, there's so much planning that happens. We could literally go down to like the shower you're going to take for your hair to be at its best level. Like, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas a guy, it's like very different. Like, get yourself together. If
But
you
I also
plan
think
the
a Monday is the worst night
Monday
for a date.
is the worst. Don't even go for sushi. The sushi's bad on Monday. Like, don't they
I think actually every restaurant is closed on
I
a
know,
Monday.
I'm pretty sure. He's probably like, bitch, this girl's giving me a Monday. Like, fuck off.
I would actually be turned off if someone told me on Monday. I'd be like, well, who's Friday, Saturday, Sunday? Because clearly you're in a relationship. Clearly you have a wife. If you're giving me a Monday, you have a whole ass wife.
Yeah, you're right. I'll give him another chance.
Yeah. You're welcome, buddy.
But I still stand on you're never too busy when you're interested in someone.
I do agree with that.
Where the fuck are we gonna go on Monday?
Okay.
Actually, you know what? It's summer. It's bumping.
Everything's bumping if it's a nice day. Number 6 on the topic. Number 6 on the topic, how to weed out men. Share date stories. Does he start getting weird? This one is an interesting one. I feel like maybe you'd have a better perspective on this, but I don't really go on enough dates to share date stories on my dates. But
so like talking about other dates when you're on one?
I guess. Like talking about dating stories or things that have gone wrong or things that you liked. And
like
see
that
how
being good or bad?
Or just seeing his energy, see how it changes how he feels. So for me, my thing, the way that I can relate to this is like if I'm actually getting to know someone and I start asking them like girls they were seeing or like ex-girlfriends and stuff, if they start getting weird about it, for me, it's such a turn off when guys don't want to tell me stuff and I'm like, no, you're going to get mad. I'm like, I'm not going to get mad. Like,
ew, who are you going on dates with boys?
No,
I mean, gonna
like,
get mad. Shut the fuck
listen,
up.
I asked some pretty, I started asking some pretty serious questions. But like, I love to know personally, like, okay, like, when was the last time you were talking to someone? Or like, I really like getting that information. How was this relationship? How was that? Like, why did your relationship?
Yeah.
And I feel like when guys start to get weird with that, I'm just like, oh, that's weird. Or like when I start telling my stories and they don't want to hear what I have to say, I'm like, that feels like a bit immature to me because it feels like you're intimidated by my past relationships, which are obviously not an issue right now. Like, I'm moved on. And I think like if we're both trying to date again, that means we've moved on from a past relationship. So someone who has that like weirdness of me like opening up and talking about my last relationship, even in a good way. Like I don't like when guys, and I think guys do this, and I mean everyone does this, you almost like, I feel like some people when they're like insecure, immature, they want you to only say bad things about your ex. And I feel like if a guy can't handle me talking good about my exes and be like, oh no, this was really, and I actually really love this person and like this, you know, like I love this about my relationship. If that threatens you.
Nobody should be with anyone who's threatened by them talking highly of their ex. Like at the end of the day, like it didn't work out. And I think there's always love there. So if you can't understand that, you clearly haven't been in a relationship to understand that.
100%.
Like, and also what you want to be with someone that you know you're talking to someone who you're almost like flashing to the future and you're like, wait,
you're gonna talk about me like
you're gonna
that.
talk about me like that. Like that's how you kind of see it. So no, I don't think I've ever been in a situation where like a guy's been like weird about it. But I asked the pretty basic questions at the beginning. I don't go as ticka like you.
I don't wait. I wait a
but
little
like,
more.
what do you ask?
We'll move on to the next question.
What do you ask?
I don't know. I just asked some shit.
No, I've never had a guy who was weird, but I think it also depends how the conversation comes about because I've done stupid shit where like a guy's never said anything and I was like, yeah, like before coming and meet you, like I was on another date. Like I've done stupid ass shit.
If a guy told me that, by the way, I would literally be like, okay, bye.
No, like, but I didn't say it in the present moment. I said it after. I was like, oh yeah, like I went for dinner with someone and then like I met you for drinks and he was like, well, how would you feel if I said that to you? And I was like, I'm so immature. Like, why did I just say that?
100%.
You know? So like, but that's the old me.
The new Alessia is on the phone. Okay.
But like, you should never have to like try and make someone jealous.
No.
You know, and I think like I've done that in the past where I'm like, you need to know that like
I have options.
I have options and like you're lucky to be with
Yeah.
me. But it's like that actually just turns off a guy. Like
100%.
someone who knows, like they don't need to know that. They know.
They know.
When you're there and you're present and you're hot and you're vibing, they know you have other options.
Yeah.
You do not need to make another guy jealous by saying like, and I think a lot of people do this. And I think girls and guys maybe, but I was talking to a guy once and he was saying like, I could never be with this girl because we were out and he's like, I invited her on a trip and like the whole time she thought she was cool because she lived in LA and she was saying how, you know, they were watching a movie and she's like, oh, this actor, this. And like, she was talking about them like she knew them. And she was like, she probably thinks like she sounds so cool right now because she knows all these people. But she's like, as a guy, like I'm hearing this and I'm so turned off.
100%.
Like, even if you know these actors, even if you've been to their houses, like keep your mouth shut. Like it doesn't turn on a guy. And I think a lot of times girls think like, the more I talk, the more I say, like, it's going to show like I have options. Like,
that. Well, yeah, we
guys
do it in
do
different
that
ways.
too. Yes.
Guys be like, yeah, so I just got out of my Rolls Royce as I was getting here. And, yeah, when I took my private jet to Italy last time, I'm like, bro, like.
Literally.
You know? But, okay, so there's this.
It's so fucking true. Guys do that. That's
they do
like
it in different ways.
Those are extremes.
Girls do it
but
in
like,
the way of, like, other guys want me. And guys do it in the way where, like, I'm really successful.
100%.
But
fucking true.
So there's this rule in script writing that's, like, in, like, movies and shows and stuff that says, like, show it, don't tell it. So it's basically, like, don't underestimate the audience. Sorry. Don't underestimate the audience's ability to understand what's going on. And that's how people want to understand things for themselves. Like, I think the most attractive thing is when you piece together the signs yourself.
Yeah.
To be like, okay, this person is either really successful or this person is clearly well put together. She's beautiful. She obviously has options. And I think that's the beauty. That's attractive. But when someone says, I have options, it's like the same thing when you watch a movie and someone says like, hey, sister. It's like, bro, we understood that was your sister. Like, you didn't have to say that. You know what I mean? Or like, I think you have to like never underestimate what people can tell about you.
So
and
fucking true.
always like just as if you're in a movie, just you know what I mean? Like, don't try to overtell. Like, people are gonna understand that you're successful or this or that or whatever it is that you want to portray. People are gonna understand that if you're saying
I want to take you out on a date, but I'm sorry I'm not in town because I'm here, but like I get back on this day. It's like, okay, you know this guy travels and he's on the way. But if you're saying like, yeah, like I have this on this day and that, it's like it's not coming out smooth and it's not feeling like, okay, this guy, it's like he's proving something.
It's exactly. It's really just about like people will always know. Like it's the same thing of like back in the day, advertisements used to be like really obvious. Like it would be like this is the best coffee. You know what I mean? Like they would try to sell to like the people as if they were stupid. And over the years, we've gotten smarter and like marketers have realized that like people are really smart. People can understand. You could put an image of something and people will be able to understand that without the logo, without the words. They'll be able to understand the message you're trying to convey. And it's the same thing with dating. Like don't over market yourself. Don't be like, I'm beautiful. I'm wanted. I'm successful. I'm rich. Like people will get it when they get it. And if they don't get it, then like that's not the person for you, obviously. But there's something just so sexy about someone just being who they are and not having to tell you who they are. Like I hate that. As soon as someone starts to tell me and like you could tell in their little stories, there's always like there's little things like, I got into a car accident with my Mercedes AMG. Didn't need to know that. It's like,
oh my God, it's so tacky and it's so unattractive. And I think women especially, we're very good at weeding that out and we see it right away. You know, when a guy's doing it, you're like, ooh, you didn't need to do that. Like, trust me, we did our research. We know you have money. Like, you don't need to start saying that you're taking a private jet and this and that and that and that. Also, speaking of
girls do it. Girls think they're better at it. Girls think they're better at it than they are. Like, they really do. Like, girls, we think we're so slick. We say shit, but it's like, I see right through that.
100%.
Like, I see right through that.
Fuck. I'm gonna have to rethink my whole life and what I've been doing.
Next one.
Next club.
Okay. Number 7. Don't count cards. Text them as much as you want. Does he pull away? So I think that's interesting. It's like, Try not
This
to play
all
too
has
many.
to do with like finding a person who's ready for what you're
Yeah.
ready for.
Yeah,
So if
exactly.
you're not ready for any of this, all these things are gonna throw you off.
100%.
So it's
But it's just how to literally the whole list is just how to figure out if someone's serious.
Yep.
If I'm serious about someone, no matter how much they text me, okay, yeah, whoa, like don't send me 3 texts back to back. But like when you text me and you think about me and like we're talking, like that's attractive to me because I like you. You know, if I didn't like you and it was more shallow, yeah, I would get turned off because I'm not that into you. So I think it's a really good telltale sign.
Wait, so if you like a guy and he's messaging you all the time, it won't bother you.
I mean, depends to what extent.
Yeah.
But if I really like you and I'm really interested in you, then yeah, like I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, like don't harass me.
That's why I think in today's generation, we talk about all these things like, oh, we hate when a guy does this, these icks. It's like, truthfully, you're just not that interested because you will look the other way when he does an ick.
Yeah.
You're not going to like not talk to a guy anymore because of, he tripped on his shoelace. Like, truthfully, when you're interested in someone, you will look past that ick.
100.
And
I've looked past.
Do you know what I mean? It's
100%.
really just because somebody is really not that interested in you. Because no girl is going to not talk to you anymore because of that one ick. Even a guy, both ways, I think.
ways.
It's just
Both ways.
It's not because of that one thing you did.
It's like
They just-
maybe at the end of the day when we break up, I'm gonna tally up all the things I didn't like.
Yeah.
But that one little thing of how you used your fork is not gonna make me be like, I can't see this guy again.
Yeah,
you know what I
literally.
mean? There's other reasons why I can't see this guy again.
But those are and I also think, actually, before we move on from that, I think even I have to start learning to be more, not secretive, but when I'm talking to a guy, I can't right away, like something turns me off or like, ooh, that's icky, send it to my friends. I can't do that. I have to start being more like, okay, be mature. You don't need to get the validation. You know your friends are going to hype you up and agree with you, and it's just going to make it worse.
100%.
I think sometimes it's good to like keep things to yourself. Even if you're talking to a guy, like you don't need to start blurring out to everyone like, oh, I'm talking to this person. Because then it's like, they do one thing and then you send it, and then what? You have to explain to all your friends after that, like, yeah, the guy who had the ick and we're all laughing about,
Yeah.
I'm still talking to.
When his nickname is Pickle Man, and then after you have to admit that you're dating Pickle
'cause
Man at the end of the day. Like,
Exactly.
Because let me tell you guys, when they get a nickname, it's always about what their ick is. It's always gonna be shoelace guy or fucking
100%.
ass crack guy. Yeah.
It's so true.
Speed walker. Like there's it's all
Like the guy in the bath who like crossed his legs. Like now, if I ever wanted to continue talking
guy.
to him, he's bath guy.
it's like
And I think a lot of times, like, even women subconsciously, we're just going to be like, okay, well, fuck that guy completely. Because,
Yeah.
like, we've already created the story and let our friends in. So I think sometimes it's good to
totally agree with that.
just wait it out a little. Don't
totally
start
agree.
bringing your friends on it, different opinions. It's like,
You weren't there also. No, I mean like let's say on a date there's a lot of little things that might happen that you don't like. If you tell your friends about it, they don't know how good the rest of the day was or what the vibe was. So they're just going to hear that one little thing and be like, oh my God, like, he didn't know how to pick a wine.
Yeah.
Like, ew. And it's
and then
so
it just,
easy.
then we're like, okay, yeah, no,
like,
you're
yeah,
right. Like, I can't
nerd.
oversee this. I actually think Grant Cardone's wife, what's her name? Elena Cardone. Anyway, Grant Cardone's wife was talking about this, how she says when she gets in an argument with her husband, she doesn't go for brunch with her girlfriends and like explain to them why she's angry at her husband, what they're fighting about. She keeps that really within the relationship. And I kind of agree with her. Look, it's like twofolds, I feel, because it's like, I feel like, in life we relate. There's a lot of relatability and like, sharing information is kind of like what makes us human. And as girls too, like we love to gossip and it just makes us like connect.
Yeah.
So I get the whole like being able to like be open with your friends. But on the other side of it, I think a lot of times it could create like bad vibes and like bad energy. Because then it's like the last thing you've told your friends is that you're arguing with your husband and that you hate this. But then you fixed it with your husband. But then you still kind of feel like you owe an explanation to your girlfriends. And like, maybe they're going to start looking at the husband differently. And
Yeah.
like, I feel like sometimes it's just better to keep your relationship within.
Yeah.
But
There's times when
Yeah.
obviously you go to your friends, you look for advice. I think if you're just like, I personally, for me, I can't stand people who come at me with the same problem every time. And I give you advice and you keep going back. At a certain point, I'm going to be like, okay.
Well,
you
I'm
know
the
what
friend
I mean?
where like I'll give advice the first 2 times, but after that I'm like, we spoke about this already.
Yeah.
Like if
It's
you're
up to you.
But the thing is if you're choosing to stay in that,
Yeah.
you have to either learn to accept it or let it be.
Yeah.
I think it's like
I totally agree. But I do think there's a limit. Like, obviously, don't keep everything private about your relationship, but also don't run to tell everyone every time your partner messes up, because that's just gonna create like, now it's like
It's
you
not
and your friends are laughing about your partner that like, what, at the end of the day you're gonna marry this guy, and they're all there like,
Yeah.
I spoke the most shit about this guy and now she's marrying him. Like,
Yeah.
every relationship is gonna have problems, and I don't think everyone needs to know the relationship problems you have. You know?
I totally agree.
Okay, last two. Number 8. Show your insecurity / irrationality. Is he quick to go, oh, you're crazy? Which I think is interesting. And maybe you could relate to this, because I feel like you had that experience in the past with the Uber where the guy was like, what the fuck? And you were like, oh, okay, like, I can't deal with you because you didn't like accept my like irrational fear in a way, but it's like, it's real to you. Does that make sense?
Oh my God, Veronica, this is such a
Yeah.
I'll talk on this one. So I've been I'll talk on this one. Yeah, get rid of the mic. No, but like I've been on dates where like I would say something to a guy who's logical, maybe will hear it and be like, yeah, but like, was he taking the right route when you were, you know, in the Uber? And like, I think the best thing is to just be able to be with a guy who like can just, even if he might have some questions and concerns, he's like being there and very like open. And because I've had both on dates where they're like, oh shit, that's crazy. Like, I can't imagine what you're feeling. And then also I've gotten the, yeah, but X, Y, and Z, like that doesn't make sense. Then it's like you're questioning my intuition and like what I went through. It's just, it creates a vibe where I don't feel safe.
100%.
So I think like regardless of how you feel, like you should always like take into account like, okay, well listen, like this was her experience. Like I'm not gonna come off like questioning her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think that's like obviously a really specific one, but I think for a lot of people, they deal with like insecurities in the relationship, for example, like jealousy or something. Like if, you know, you're in the talking stage and like you mentioned like, oh, like that. And like they're quick to be like, oh, you're crazy. Like, oh, clearly you're jealous, clearly that. And they're not understanding, like, oh, sorry. Like, I didn't mean to make you feel that way. Or like, oh, like maybe more reassuring. That's like already a way to tell if someone's like really serious about you. Because when someone's serious about you, they're going to want to take into consideration what makes you like not feel good.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to lose you.
Yeah.
But someone who doesn't give a fuck is like, oh, you're fucking crazy. Like, see you later. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to deal with this.
It's a good one.
So.
It's a very good one.
And last one, number 9.
Who knew this list took the whole episode?
I know. They're really good points though.
Yeah.
Number 9, does it feel like he's trying to impress you or get to know you? And I think this is interesting because I feel like, I don't know, I feel like a lot of guys just want to get the validation of being able to get the girl, and maybe less want to actually get to know you, actually want to be in a relationship with you. And I feel like sometimes you can go out with people and it just feels like they're trying to sell themselves to you. And it's like, that's not what I want. And that just tells me that you're so concerned about getting validated of being like liked versus actually trying to get to know me.
I think that goes back to somebody who's like really content and happy with their life. When you're so happy with who you are, you don't feel like you owe anyone an explanation. And I think some guys either get there in life or don't. And as women, we could tell that right away. I could tell that right away. Yeah.
I'm bad.
Really?
Well, I believe anything anyone tells me. So like, I'm really easily like,
ooh, I don't.
I'm really easily like, you tell me something, I'll
You're
just believe
gullible.
you. Yeah. I don't want to say I'm gullible, but I really, when I'm getting to know you, now it's a little bit different because I have trust issues. But I feel like I'm really, when I'm talking to someone, I'll not very often doubt what they're saying. If they're telling it to me, I'll just be like, okay, that's true.
Okay.
Until I'm given a reason to start being like,
Fair. I think I will, like, when someone will say something, I'm just a little bit more, like, trying to understand, like, why that point is coming about. And I think I dissect it a little bit more. I want to believe it. And I think, like, I'm good at believing it. But then if the actions don't match what is being said, then I absolutely get thrown off.
But it
like,
takes
if you're
a while.
saying that, does it?
Some things take a while to realize if they're true or not. Do you know what I mean? Like,
give me an example.
I mean, obviously, if someone's like, you know, like, for example, maybe an example would be like a value for me is like traveling a lot. Okay. I could go on a date with someone and be like, oh yeah, I was here, and like, you know, I love to travel, and like these are the last trips I do. Perfect, great.
Do guys like to hear that?
No, I'm saying the guy's telling me.
No,
that.
I know. I'm just kidding.
But like, okay, he tells me that, cool. It's going to take me a bit of time to realize whether this guy travels or not. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, you never really know until like later on. You're like, oh, well, you kind of said you were this way, or you kind of said you were this. Sure, for sure at the beginning, like there's little things that like, oh, I'm a really thoughtful person. Like, okay, within the first month, I'm going to tell if you're thoughtful or not.
Yeah.
But like there's other little things that take time and can also be
Traveling
can be like you can date a guy and not really know who he is until a couple months in, because that dating stage is so easy to make you seem like feel a type of way. They bring you to the best restaurants, this, that. But then like as the relationship goes, you're like, oh, well, like, you know, you lose a bit of that, like, what's the word? The facade? Because that's what we do, right? In relationships, we like put up a facade.
Yeah,
and I think sometimes it's harder than others to realize what's true and what's not.
For sure. At the beginning, it is a little bit more difficult to see everything through. But like the vacation one,
it's just I'm just trying to think of a long-term example.
No, I get what you're saying, but it's also like, oh, I love to travel. Okay, great. What's lined up for you these next couple of months? That's what I would say.
Yeah, and then they say, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. Perfect, great. But you're only going to know if they're actually going in fucking 3 months from now. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, yeah, it's so easy to be like, even me, I could say I love travel. What's lined up? I mean, I don't know. I want to go here. I want to go there. Is it going to happen? I don't know. But like, you're only going to realize 3 months from now if I went on that trip or not.
Yeah.
So that's like, these are little things that I struggle with.
Yeah.
Is like, I want to believe. And then like, I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
You said you were this way, but you're not.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I think I think a lot of times, obviously getting like a girl for a guy is like a very like validating thing, and I think sometimes guys date for validation. And maybe they don't really like you, maybe they're not really your type of person, but to get a girl like you is like validating for them. And I think that's the type of person where you're on a date with them and they're just trying to impress you, and like they don't care to get to know you because they just want to get you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I feel like I've experienced
a bit like a trophy, like, oh, I was able to get this girl, you know?
Yeah.
They don't really care about you.
That's why you gotta wait it out.
Never let them know though.
Do they really care about you?
Yeah.
You know? Well, that's a crazy list.
Yeah, I thought it was great, honestly.
That's a really good list, honestly.
Yeah.
So we're all gonna like look back at that list, okay?
Everyone, I need to shout out whoever made this list. Everyone, the whole episode.
Everyone listening is gonna, look back at those 9 points. No, they're really good. I think the friend one is really good.
Arsham 181.
Is he like famous?
No.
Speaking of TikTok, actually, have you seen the video where the girl's like singing, I'm looking for a guy
in finance.
I'm looking for a guy in finance, 6'5". I think that's actually my worst fear. Like, I'm like,
oh, okay. I was like,
wait, people want this? People want a trust fund guy. I'm like, I don't think you want a trust fund guy if you've been with somebody who was a trust fund kid.
Yeah.
Like what? You're going to want a Chanel and he's going to have to call his mommy and daddy and be like, can I buy Alessia this Chanel? Like, fuck that. You want a guy who works for his hard-earned money and could be like, baby, I got you this. So also much hotter. Finance,
out of everywhere, you can... I don't understand this whole, like, finance bros thing.
I'm sorry. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Also, okay? I'm 5'7". I've hooked up with a guy who's 6'5", okay? I'm going to stand up for this.
I feel like I have to stand up too.
No. I hooked up with a guy who's 6'6". I'm 5'7". I have a long neck, okay? Like, my neck is not short. Like,
yeah.
Hooking up with a guy who's 6'6", like, my neck was killing me.
Yeah.
Okay?
And they're also this.
In no means do I want a short guy.
Yeah.
But I actually think like 6'5", I'm 5'7", like it's like it hurt my neck. I'm not saying no, I'll fucking crawl up there. Like I'm not gonna
I'll bring a step ladder.
I'll bring a step ladder, no stress. I'll take that over a short guy any day. Yeah, I'm fixing my thing. But like 6'5" is actually like
I think asking for it's okay. Like if you want to say, okay, I want a guy who's taller than me, I want a taller guy, whatever.
And blue eyes.
6'5" is tall as fuck to start saying I want a guy who's 6'5". Like how many guys that are 6'5"?
Like I'm happy with a guy 6'1". Like
yeah.
But like, look, it's nice. But I actually think like a lot of people say 6'5", but I'm like, have you ever been with a guy 6'5", 6'6"? Because like it's actually like it's crazy. And like I'm normal height, like 5'7". Imagine if you're shorter.
Well, I'm shorter. I was talking to a guy who's 6'4".
Okay. You're like, and I loved it. No, it is great.
I would say the tallest for me was 6'4". But it wasn't
that would be same ratio then for me and you. Because if he was 6'4" and I'm 5'7" and 6'6", the math it's the same thing.
Well, I'm like 5'3", 5'4".
Yeah.
So it's
makes
a little
sense.
less. But yeah. I don't. But you know what's my
And
thing
blue
is height.
eyes.
Yeah.
Blue eyes.
I do what I say. Like, that's what
That's
I
the
don't
thing,
understand.
I
It's
could end
not
up-
on my list. Like, I don't say blue eyes. That's the guy I want.
I want a guy who's ruggedy,
I don't
brown
care.
eyes.
I actually realize I don't care
Look,
about the eye color.
Look, I don't care about the eye color, but I'm not going into it like
Saying 6'5" blue eyes.
6'5" blue eyes.
Finance.
Finance.
None of these would be on my
No,
list.
for me, it's really the trust fund that I'm like,
Yeah.
please.
What would be your song?
What do I gotta sing?
Like, well, what's your points?
My
Okay,
point.
so pick job, height,
Okay,
eye color, and
the-
whatever trust fund, like whatever.
I think
miscellaneous could be the last category.
Okay. I'm looking for a guy with brown eyes.
Okay.
6'3". I'm happy with 6'3". 6'2", 6'3". Self-made, 1000%. Like, I do not want a trust fund baby. I think people don't understand it unless like you witness it and experience it. It's really trust fund people never feel like I'm so like serious. Trust fund people never feel
hurt
like
you?
they have to work and
Yeah.
accomplish things because they know even if they don't have the money now, that at one point
Security.
they're gonna have that security, which makes them not want to hustle and like live a life where they're like fulfilling their needs.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Which is definitely a value for you. It's just like
Yes.
someone who, yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
How hot is it when a guy has made it on his own and then you're like, baby, buy me the Chanel, and you know that's coming from his hard-earned money, than a guy who's like, mommy, daddy.
Yeah.
Like, ew, that's an ick.
Yeah. So for me, like, even if you're a billionaire, but if you're jobless, like, that's still an ick for me.
But they're never gonna say they're jobless. The way they pull it is always like, oh, I have real estate here. They're always like doing real estate or like they're
investments.
investments. They're never gonna say I have no job.
But it's so situational though, because I do meet people who come from like well-off families that have like hustled and like built something for themselves.
Yeah.
That I still think is which I think is attractive
Oh,
too.
for
Like,
sure, for sure.
you know, like someone who's able to. I think it becomes unattractive when you're doing nothing but like riding on that, and you're like you don't want anything else for your life. You're just like out doing what you want. Like you don't have a job. You're not doing anything. You don't have any passions. You're
For
just like
sure.
slay. I'm set up for life, which is like cool. You could do that, but I
Yeah.
wouldn't be attracted to that.
But it's always normally more of like passion stuff. And I feel like they have a hard time understanding things about like life and like nothing seems like a big deal. So like if you're like sad about something, because money has always been the saving factor for them, it's very hard for them to see life for life and like it being like real life situations. You know what I mean? Like, but they'll just be like, yeah, but you can just do this.
Yeah, like situations where it's like we'll just do that. And
We'll
it's like,
just
well,
do that. Well,
not everyone can just do that. You know?
Yeah.
It's also a character fly too, though. If someone's
Yeah.
like that, I find that's like a really
So
big
yeah,
turn
so
off.
my song would be 6'3", brown eyes, self-made. Am I missing anything?
I guess like job,
Job?
self-made. It kind of ties it together. You can throw in a fourth.
Self-made. I mean, it could literally be anything.
Yeah.
Just ideally like a tech company for like I'm looking for a guy in tech. 6'3", brown eyes, self-made.
There you go.
There we
The
go.
remix.
There we go.
The
What's your
remix.
song? I'm looking for a guy who's 10.
Who's what?
Who's 10?
10.
Because you like young boys.
You can't just say that. I sound like a pedophile now.
Wait, sorry. Okay, I'll redo it.
Are you crazy? Guys, I went on a date one time with a 23-year-old. He was not 10.
I'm looking for a guy who's 23.
I actually don't want that though, but I'm not into older guys. But I always said that. I'm
Yeah.
not into older guys. I'm always into like my age, a little bit older. Like I don't mind like a year younger. But like I'm not attracted to guys who are older. I I always end up with someone my age.
Yeah. There's a lot more like related, like you can connect a little bit more maybe.
Yeah, I'm also a little bit immature. I'm very mature. No, like I'm mature in life, but the way I am, my character is immature, and I feel like I just like to have fun. Like I just want to like it's not that serious. And I think sometimes when you're with an older guy, they're always trying to like be serious, and I'm like, bro, relax.
I would love that.
See,
Oh,
that's why I
I
don't
would
like.
love that.
And you know what I realized? It's
Be
so funny.
serious. Make me be the one who's like fucking shit faced and you're just like, Let me bring her in the car. I don't want a guy who's like fucking. No.
You see, it's funny
It's
how
crazy.
people get insulted, but it's like everyone has their own thing.
Yeah.
Like you could say that, and I'm like, that's not what I want.
You're like, no, I want my guy to be puking next to me.
I want us to be wasted in that club together.
No, no. I'm
But
okay
it's
if my man's not that wasted.
I feel like I've really grown in understanding more of what I want.
Yeah.
And like I feel like in the past I've been more like, yeah, this, yeah, that. But like now I really know what makes me happy. And like it's not. I mean, I think everyone has a different set of criteria. But mine is just like, I like to be with someone who's in a similar stage in life than me.
I remember, which is fair, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. That's great.
That's amazing.
That's amazing, sweetie. But I will say though, like I was saying this the other day, I was out with friends and like, a lot of my friends obviously like older guys, you know, as a normal person does. And I'm just like, I love the baby face. I love like the young energy. Just go for people my age. But yeah, okay, I sound like a cradle robber. But anyways, so we were out with guys and they were like obviously older. And I was literally sitting there and I was like, I can't listen to this conversation. Like, it's crazy how like when you hang out with older people.
Okay, but how old are we talking?
I don't know, maybe like 40s. But it's like they always
I hear you.
really realize like when you're gonna hang out with younger, like so someone who likes older guys, when you hang out with younger guys, you're gonna be like, good God, like, I can't listen to this conversation. And I'm the same way, but when it's older guys, when I'm hanging out with like 4 years, I'm like, I can't listen to this. Like I'm like, oh, like it's always the same. Like it's always the same conversation. And it was so funny because I was with my friend and I was looking at her. I was like, I know that this is like her shit, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm literally there and I go talk to my friend who's like my age. And she was like, Veronica, when you stood up, I was laughing so hard because I was like, this girl's going to find some young blood here. She's going to find some. She can't deal with these oldies anymore. I'm like, no, literally. I was like, I need to talk about
100%.
I don't know
like,
what.
If it's for me, it's the opposite. Exactly. If I'm talking to someone my age, look, it's always situational. Sometimes someone's mature. It also depends on like what they've been through in their life.
100%.
But for the most part, I'm just looking at you and I'm like, you're such a baby. Oh my God, you still think that way? And like when I'm talking to someone older, I'm like, oh, he gets life. He gets it. He's been through it. So hot. Take me, baby.
I don't know. I say everything.
Okay,
but
so
then
what's your song?
What's my song?
Yeah.
Brown eyes for sure.
Okay.
I have to choose.
But
brown
shut
eyes.
up. We meet a guy with blue eyes, but he has the other things.
He has green eyes, but I don't. I'm just.
Also,
saying
why do you
brown
have
'cause I'm
nicer
just
eyes than me? Like I have brown, simple eyes.
Oh yeah, no, I can't.
Why
have
are you
someone-
there with your beautiful waking
no.
up and then your lashes are just looking amazing?
No, I can't.
Because people with blue eyes, they have beautiful lashes.
I dated
like,
a guy with blue eyes, and I was like, "Close your eyes, eh? Close your eyes when you talk to me. We're taking pixies there in the sun." I was like, "Bro,
yeah. When
you're trying to
someone with
embarrass
blue
me?"
eyes never looks bad in pictures. By the way, tell me I'm wrong. No,
The eyes, they always pull them through.
I'll.
By the way, green eyes is the biggest flex you could ever flex on me, and I can't date someone with green eyes because I would actually be so like I wake up and I have to stare into your green eyes.
No.
And I have just pupils.
Veronica, the amount of
Please.
times I'll go on a date with a guy and he'll be like, "You have such beautiful eyes," and like I literally think you're lying. Like I'm like, "Stop
But it's
it."
because it's not just the eye color; it's the eye shape. Like you do have really nice eyes.
I get
Are we
what
gonna kiss?
I get I get what you're saying, but as a guy, choose something else. At this point, just say I have nice tits, because like I'll agree with you. I'll agree with you. I guess
what you
it's
mean.
another set of eyes.
When a guy says you have beautiful eyes, I go, "Come on, man! You're looking to these Hershey kisses and you're saying beautiful eyes. Please, please, give me a break."
But then like I also sound insecure. I'm like, but my eyes are brown. Like I'll take the
Oh,
compliment.
okay. Well, I don't fight back.
No.
I say thank you.
Yeah, I know.
I'm
I
not
know.
a monster, but my eyes are brown. He's gonna have to start fighting for it. No, they're the color of the caramel sky.
But then,
No.
but like it's because you want. You're like,
Yeah,
No,
I'm like,
no, but
"Tell
my
me
eyes are
more."
brown. But like, but no, but it's the shape, like the way they're. Thank you.
Oh, so not the color.
Okay.
Good to know.
Okay, so your song is
My song is Brown Eyes.
no. Sing the song.
Yo, what order does it go in?
I'm looking for a guy career.
Okay, creative. I'm looking
I'm looking.
creative. Anything creative.
Okay, well,
somebody has
chop it
to be
up for
somebody-
TikTok here. Get it together.
Looking for a guy who's in a creative field. I don't have a height preference. Really don't. You know this about me. But if I'm gonna choose one, I'm gonna say 6'1".
Okay,
6 or 6'1".
but that's also because you don't have to deal with that because you're what
Yeah.
5'4".
But I also
most
don't
guys
care-
are at least 5'8", 5'9".
But I've dated a lot of short guys.
Yeah, but short still taller than you
Yeah,
though.
still taller than me.
I think the rule is if you're a short girl, like leave the tall fucking guys for the girls who are taller. I'm sorry.
I don't mind short guys though. Anyway,
I don't mind a guy who's like 5'11", 6. Look, if he has
that's
everything.
not short. I don't mind a guy who's 6 foot. If you're like 5'1".
Okay,
No.
Veronica, you're with a
No.
guy and you're in heels and he's shorter than you. It's gonna affect you.
No, I like my height.
Hello.
Like if I'm in heels and we're my height, we are my height. I would still be okay with it. If I love you, I don't care.
Okay.
I don't care. Anyways,
Yeah,
But
I
if I, have
think-
to choose a height, let's just say 6 foot.
Yeah.
I'll leave the 6'1" for my taller girlies.
So sweet of you.
You're welcome.
Why is it always the short girls who get the tall guys?
100. By the way, I was gonna say whoever made up that song, she's probably 5'1". It's always like that. It's always the girls who are literally 5'1" who are like, I want a man who's 6'3" minimum.
And I'm like, save them
buddy.
for the girls who are taller.
I agree though.
but like,
I agree.
listen.
I also
preference
low-key,
is a preference.
It's so cool. I find I don't know if you're gonna agree with this, but when a guy's like shorter and he's like going out with a girl who's like really tall and he's like, damn, like that's my girl.
Okay, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Part of that makes me like, wow, you're a G.
100%.
Like,
And
you're
as
hot,
a guy,
actually.
if you're with a taller woman, bro, you have so much confidence.
It's so
you have
good.
confidence. You have something. You're
Yeah.
funny. You're good in bed. Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of things going. And as a girl, when you see that, you're like, that guy has some shit.
But it's also just like I find that so attractive when a guy is just like, yeah, that's my girl. She's tall. It's like, wow, like I don't know. I always love that. I'm like, I find it so attractive when a guy can be like,
Yeah.
that's my girl.
I don't know how many guys are comfortable with that though.
I have a friend the other day. He was like, "Oh yeah, I'm going on a date with this girl," and then we got, he's like, "Oh my gosh, she's so tall. She's literally towering over me." But like, I feel like the biggest G. Like he was like, I feel
It's an ego.
so good, and I was like,
It's an ego thing. He
But
doesn't
a lot
even
of
like
people
her. It's
wouldn't
an
like
ego
that.
thing.
But a lot of people wouldn't like that. A lot of people wouldn't like to feel that way.
Okay. Can we talk about Miami for a second?
Yeah, well, you want to call my phone? It's still in the ocean. Guys, the thing about Miami is you go a couple of times, you say, fuck, I love it here. And then you go one too many times and you're like, I'm going to stay home for a bit. I'm gonna stay home
So
for a bit.
I tried to contact Veronica and I couldn't get a hold of her. And then I find out that she lost her phone in the ocean on a boat in Miami.
Yeah.
If you're going to go down, that's one way to go down.
You know what the worst part was, though? I actually wish I lost my phone while we were driving or something, because the way I lost it, let me paint the picture for you guys.
Yeah.
We're on a boat, docked, and we're in an area that's like not that deep. I would say maybe like 10 feet. And I put the phone up to take a video, and like I turn around, I'm like taking a video. It falls off, okay? You know, like I did like kind of like this. It falls off, bounces off the deck, bounces into the water. And everyone was on like a floaty. So they're all watching my phone in slow motion fall into the water. And I'm like, oh, and immediately everyone's like, pass me goggles. So I throw 3 goggles out. I have 3 people diving, looking for my phone. They're trying, and I have extensions. And I'm like, yo, I'm not getting in this water. Like, come on. Okay.
You care about your
Listen to
extensions
me,
more
listen to
than
me.
your phone?
So everyone's swimming for my phone. Everyone's swimming for my phone. Then the captain's like, don't worry. I found 6 phones in the water. Like, I'll be able to find it. But everyone's like, I can't see. Can you call it? Like, it's too dark down there. So I'm like, fuck. After 30 minutes, they don't find my phone. I go, pass me the fucking goggles. And at this point, I'm like, if I'm wetting my hair here, if I'm wetting my hair, it means I'm finding my phone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I'm making the sacrifice, therefore I will find my phone.
Yeah.
I didn't
How's
find my
your
phone. I was
iPhone?
like,
How's your iPhone 3?
I didn't find my phone, guys. I was diving under, okay? Literally going under, because 10 feet is not that deep, but to be able to dive down head first, because you have to be close to the floor to be able to see what's going on.
By the time you get down, you're already out of air and you need to come
You
back
need to
up.
come back up. And then you don't remember where you just dove. It was too dark.
Yeah.
And the worst part was it felt so achievable.
Like, it
I was
felt
like,
lightly,
bro, pass
like-
me a scuba suit. I'm finding the phone. But because I didn't have that tank, I didn't have the air. I couldn't find it. Literally, scuba suit in a second, I would have been able to find it.
I think that
it was so aggravating.
Losing your phone on a trip is probably one of the worst things that could ever happen, because like you're taking a flight now, you're doing the entire flight phoneless.
Yep.
You can't do anything, and it starts to feel like, can I even like have a boarding pass anymore? Because like
No,
you're
I have
used
to go print it out.
You have to go print it out, but it's just like you're just there. Like, what is my life? Like, I can't live in Miami if this is
There's
the case.
so many things that I realized. Like, for example, also big mistake on my part. I made it so, after like we got our Instagrams hacked into and whatever, I made it so difficult to get into the Instagram that I couldn't even get into my own Instagram. I had authenticator apps, backup codes, this, that. Guess where they all were? On my phone. And guess who, by the way, didn't repay for her iCloud backup because I ran out of storage like a year ago. And I was just always like, oh, it's fine,
Yeah.
it's fine, it's fine. You always just click cancel, cancel. Probably should have paid that. No backup, no iCloud backup. And all of my apps, Instagram, TikTok, everything, okay, was all connected to my phone number to get the authenticator code. So I couldn't get into any of my apps for like 3 days. Couldn't contact anyone. I had no numbers. I was messaging from my laptop. Thank God I had my sister's number. I'm like, send me this, send me that. I have the, like...
Bro, I want to talk about your plane ride back, getting to the airport, no Uber, like... That's really just...
That's the other thing, too. Hey, can you call me an Uber? Like, wait, I can't even call a taxi. Like, you want to go old school? I can't even call the taxi.
Yeah.
And listen to this. I finally get home after my journey. Then you get out of the airport. I'm like, okay, let me go in the taxi line. The taxi line took an hour, okay? I had a meeting that day. Couldn't let anyone know I was going to be late for it because I had no phone, okay? Finally, I get home and I have to go pick up my dog at my mom's house an hour away. I get into my car, flat tire. How do you call CAA? What do you do in that situation? Yep.
Well, just imagine you would have had the flat tire while being on the road. At least you knew
Thank God.
before getting on the road.
Yep, thank God.
No, it's actually like, it's alarming. It's very dangerous to not have a phone.
No, and then I'm like, Tanya, I call my sister. I'm like, can I borrow your car? And she's like, yeah, sure. Let me know when you're here. I'm like, how? How?
Like, you don't realize
You don't
until
realize.
you have no phone. Because even, when you lose your phone, you still think, okay, I'm going to...
Yeah.
It takes a second.
You don't realize how much. Also, even going to pick up my dog, thank God I know how to get to my mom's house. But don't ask me to go anywhere else that's not memorized in my mind, which is like two places.
If once she was closed, you were fucked.
Oh, if they started to go, we're closing the bridge, forget about it, Mom. Turn it around because I don't know how to get there. I was about to start printing out MapQuest.
Nothing I haven't done before. So I know what the feeling is like to lose a phone on a boat. My situation, I think, would be even worse than yours. I'll tell you why.
She should have one up me, this girl.
We're on a boat, and before we got on the boat, the captain of the boat was like, by the way, I just want to let everyone know, because I know everyone's going to start drinking now, that one cup holder where you put, your drinks in, don't, because it's an actual hole, and it'll just go, to the bottom of the boat, and then forget about it. Mm-hmm. So drinking, I think I'm safe when the waves are coming up. Put my phone in the cup holder that, didn't have a hole. So it goes straight to the bottom of the boat, and it also sucks when it happens at the beginning of the night because it's like, I can't have fun. And like everyone who's on their phone, they're just teasing you, first of all. Second of all, like, dropping it in the water and knowing, okay, it's in the water, so even if I find it, there's a chance it still won't work. Mm-hmm. Like when you drop it at the bottom of the boat and you can't get to it because to open up the boat and to spend fucking 10 G's to get it is not worth the equivalent of the phone. So everyone at my point is getting off the boat, okay? I'm calling it, you hear it ringing.
Yeah, it's ringing.
I get a text. Everyone's just getting off. I'm like, no. Like, knowing that you lost your phone in a situation that you just can't get it back is so different than like knowing
right there.
It's there. It's there. Everyone's getting off. My phone's ringing. Fuck. My phone's ringing. I hear it. It's literally there. And it's like, no, get off the boat, bitch. You're not getting your phone. And it's like, oh.
That was the most... You rather drop it in the water.
Well, the only thing to do is to get wasted.
There's no other option.
Because like, what are you going to do? Like there's absolutely nothing to do. Wait, can we talk about paparazzi in Miami? What's going on in Brickell, like with the cameras?
Oh, well, my biggest fucking...
I feel like that's so interesting to let people know what's going on.
Oh, man.
So, guys, you think you're on a boat in Miami, Brickell area, and you're safe. Think again, because there's fucking paparazzi.
So I get a DM from someone, and it's a video of me on a boat, and they write, spotted. And you never want to get a DM that says spotted. Okay?
Never in your life.
Equivalent of waking up to tagged in a photo on Facebook. So...
And imagine you're not even famous.
Yeah. So I get spotted. I'm like, what? I go click on the video. I first of all see it was posted 2 weeks ago. So that's even scarier. And it's a video of me dancing on a boat. Obviously, I'm in a bikini and I'm like dancing. I look, by the way, horrible. All the comments are telling me how fat I look. I'm like, sick. This has been up for 2 weeks. Didn't even know it was here. And then there's other videos of me too. And then I find out
Can I be honest? You have some slay videos though.
Yeah, there's like one that's pretty
it's
good.
Really good.
But you can't put any because I don't want people to find these fucking
No, I
stupid
wouldn't
videos.
show the thing. But can I show the slay video?
Just show the slave video. So then basically I look on their thing and I find out they're selling a video of me from behind. So they're selling this video as explicit, paid to see this explicit video, and it's basically just me from behind, obviously in a bikini, and I'm like sitting on the boat, and then I get up and I'm just doing like I'm just like dancing like this. It's not bad, but it was like the most, how do I say this? Because I had no control over it, and I didn't know it was there. And
it's
there was
intrusive.
Intrusive. By the way, I'm talking like hundreds of thousands of views here, like on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Like I was like, oh my God, I had a literal anxiety attack. And I messaged them to take it down. They're like, no, we have our lawyers. We're not taking it down. I got a lawyer after them, could get it taken down. Like it was so. And after that, I was like, oh my God, I feel so uncomfortable to ever like go
on a boat and feel like comfortable.
Like I was like, I'm never taking off my cover up again because I'm just so like
scarred,
uncomfortable with like people having access to do that to me. When it's like, I'm on my private boat. They're videotaping, by the way, just so you guys know, they're videotaping on the shore, zooming in to the boats to like of girls in bikinis. And I just thought that was the most like horrifying thing.
I'm sorry, but like, I think any girl can understand that that's literally scarring.
Yeah.
Like the fact that you think you're living your life and like you're on this private yacht and then someone's just taking a video of you. I mean, like, I get it. Like, I see Veronica on a boat, like, and I gotta make some money. Like, I'm choosing your ass. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie.
But like,
I'm choosing your ass. Like, this is gonna make some fucking money. But I think it's one thing to have the video. It's another to start making money on my video.
And
that's fucked up.
What I really don't like is that they were like labeling the video as like explicit and stuff, which just makes it seem like it's bad.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, anyways, guys, I paid to rent my own video of my own ass. $1 for 3 days. It was on sale.
Why was your ass on sale?
Who knew? $1 for 3 days. What a steal.
First of all, what the fuck? If they're gonna charge, at least bring up the price.
I know. I didn't know. Now I know my worth, guys. $1 for 3 days. It's crazy. Sometimes you have to find it out the hard way.
But it's like, how are they allowed to do? It's actually crazy because what? You're technically on public.
Yeah.
You're in public area, but not really. I don't know. There's a fine line with that.
No, it is.
But you're technically on a boat, which is private.
No, as soon as you're outside and you're on the deck, it becomes public.
So they're videotaping these fucking people like from far away, and they just.
It was honestly like a horrible experience, and I feel like now I've just like pushed it out of my mind and forgotten about it because I wasn't able to get them deleted. Here we are talking about it, but. It was just like, I think what was worse is that like the one video of me was so bad. I looked so bad and everyone was commenting that I looked fat. And I was just like, already I hate that this happened. And the fact that I, one, don't look good, and two, everyone's calling me fat. I was just like, I can't deal with this right now. And they were like, as a courtesy, we'll remove the comments. I was like, thanks. Yeah, it was really bad. Anyways, traumatic experience. Like, just crazy. I think it just made me realize like, wow, like, you never know, like, who's just gonna take a video of you when you're not looking. Not that I'm not already aware of that. And, like, I know what and again, guys, I wasn't doing anything bad. Like, I would never do something bad. But it's like, you never know. Like, thank God I was just, like, I was literally just, like, swaying to the music. Like, I wasn't doing anything bad. But I'm like, you never know. You know, you're on a boat, you're with your friends. Like, wow, like, imagine.
I think what's worse is that everyone was sitting and you were the one dancing.
Yeah, and everyone's like, there was a comment that was like, it's always the fat one who's dancing alone. No, it's always the fat one who's trying to get attention to herself. I was like,
do they know what fat is? Like, I can't even.
Anyway, I mean, I didn't look great in the video. But
you know, honestly though, there was some slay videos.
There was one that was good. There was only two. Well,
even the one that you're saying is bad. As your best friend, it was not that bad. I'm gonna say it wasn't your best video.
It wasn't my best for sure.
Like, the comments are not like, no,
anyway.
Sorry. By the way, guys, if you're going to Italy, if you're going to Italy this year with your partner, then you're probably getting proposed to.
Yeah, just so you know.
Just so you know, I just want to be the one to tell you. I want to break the news for you. I feel like it's always the people who've been dating for like 6 to 8 months that get engaged. If you've been with your mans for 8 years and you're still waiting, I feel like it either happens right away, like within the year, or it just never happens.
I feel like if you pass the 3 year mark, it could go anywhere after that. It could be 10 years. It could be, but for some reason that 1 year area, people love to get proposed there.
I think it's also because it's like you're in kind of honeymoon stage.
Yeah.
You feel like you're both ready for it. There's like a lot of things. I feel like when you've been with someone for so long, you're like, hey, well, I can keep doing what we have going on that's kind of good, you know?
it's
You
like,
don't
why
feel the
change?
emergency on it.
The pressure, yeah.
The pressure.
Depends also. I feel like it's
Oh,
also
well,
an
wait,
age
no,
thing,
but
though.
also a lot of people do get married because they feel like it's the time and the pressure,
Yeah.
so.
But it also depends. Like, I find it's really where we're at in our age group right now. I think a lot of people are like a long time in a relationship because we're only getting to the point now where it's like, okay, time to get married. And so these are people that have been dating since high school. So it's like, yeah, it's been 10 years you're together, but obviously they were not going to get engaged, year 3 when they're fucking 20 years old.
But normally, sometimes the people who are high school sweethearts, they're also maybe just doing it because they feel like it's the time versus like, it's almost like that stage where it's either like time to break up or get married. And it's like, it could go 2 ways.
Yeah.
But in that year, if you're going to Italy, you're getting proposed to.
Bring a white dress.
Literally. Would you want to know? Wait, what were you going to say?
I was about to say, I don't know if what I said was just stupid. Do you wear a white dress to get engaged? I guess you don't know you're getting engaged. So.
I saw the video of a girl who I saw a video of a girl getting proposed to, and she literally flipped him to her good side. And I was like, if that were me,
I would do the same thing.
I would do the same thing.
I
But
would be
also-
like, hold that thought.
But also, like, I feel like everyone acts like this engagement is such a surprise when it's like the girl goes to the place, she chose her ring, she practically, honestly, she knows where it's hidden in the house. Like I feel
Would
like
you want to know or not, though? You would want to know.
Would I want to know? Like, because I'm so good at figuring it
me
out.
too.
I think women in general, but if he can pull it off, then like, fuck, that's
I'm
amazing.
saying yes for sure.
I'm saying yes for sure.
I always used to say if I would find out that you're proposing to me, I'm gonna say no, which is obviously not true. But it's just like I feel like the person I'm gonna marry is gonna know me enough to like that would be like the biggest like wow. If you know me so well that you know exactly how to lie to me, first of all, you're cheating on me. Second of all, I'm saying yes.
Actually, something I noticed, I'm like, well, Veronica's really going through her stage of like going out and like really just like living your single life, era.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about it. I was like, oh, it's because like, did you really do it? Like now is when you're doing it. Like I was just thinking about it. And I'm like, it's true. Like, because when we were doing it, you were in relationships.
Yeah. And like the only time that I really did it, I mean, there was when I was in Australia. Is when I really did it.
Yeah.
And then before.
But you were just out of something right before you went.
Yeah, and then I left. I had my year, and then
Excuse
when
me?
I came back, a little too. But I think right now it's just different. I think I'm aligned with what I want.
Yeah.
I know what I want out of life. I'm really like first time in my life where I'm not like prioritizing like working all the time.
Yeah.
So I have a lot more time. I have a lot more like free time to go out to travel. So I'm just like, yeah, I want to live my best fucking life.
Isn't it nice
it is
to know
nice.
that you can do that and like just find you a man who's gonna like support you?
I mean, I realize now that I need a man who like I don't think I'll ever. I know I'm so happy like this, and I would never want to get into another relationship where I would have to change my lifestyle right now, and I want someone who's just going to be a part of it.
But I think you'll find that.
And I think I will. I just
Yeah.
don't think it's like I think a lot of times people are like, oh, I don't want the guy who goes out. I don't want this, which is like fair. I totally understand. But like when I look
Everything
at me
in
and
moderation, though.
yeah, but I think it's just we need to be more particular about who we want compared to ourselves. Like I look at myself and I'm like, yeah, I understand why people don't want this, but you know what? It would work so well for me, and that's what I want.
And like because you're so aligned with what you want, you'll find the guy who also wants that.
Yeah.
You know, so it's perfect.
Yeah, and he's gonna be a cheater. Because he's in the clubs every weekend. No, I'm kidding. I'm actually kidding. It's because every time I say that, people are like, but they're not loyal, eh? Those guys in the clubs. I'm like, oh, fine. I really have this energy that I'm like, I know I'm gonna find what I want. And it's gonna be the perfect guy.
I have that energy too.
I don't care if
100%.
it's like, okay, these red flags. I don't care. I know that I'm gonna find the one guy who's gonna be the good guy.
Live in your delusion, baby girl.
The Lulu till it's true Lulu.
But you know what though? Delusion is always how you get what you want.
Yeah.
Because when you're delusional, you just don't take no for an answer because you're like, no, it exists. So you
100%.
create it.
Yeah, but the only reason I do this is because I know I exist. So like when I
Yes, I love that rule. I love that
Yeah.
rule. When you know you're something, you know it exists in another partner.
Absolutely.
The only way you like settle and like think that that's not possible is if you feel like you're not that person.
100%.
So when you're unhappy with yourself, you kind of attract the person you want
100%.
because you don't believe it exists because you're not that.
Because you're not that. That's
Oh,
exactly
the
how I believe.
Best rule.
Yeah.
Best rule. Okay. Well, love that we gave so much dating advice and we're both still Single? Okay, great. So guys, can't wait for that one guy to go, what do they know? They're both single. But also, it's something to be talked about. Just being able to be like, we could both be in a relationship right now if we wanted to. You know, like, I think guys, like, people in general forget that. Like, choosing to not settle is very powerful.
Yeah.
And
I think it's easier. Maybe this is, I don't know if I believe this. It's going to come out of my mouth though.
It's okay.
But I think it's okay. It's a
I
safe
say
space.
lies all the time.
It's a safe space. I kind of feel like it's easier to be in a relationship than to continue to choose to be single. Controversial. Like, I feel like if you want to, you can be in a relationship. It's all about what you're willing to settle on. And I think it's more difficult to really stick by your values and be like, I'm not going to settle until I have exactly what I want.
Yeah. And this is my hot take. Girls who go out and like dress well and like, you know what I mean, are very alluring to guys, like who just have that like sex appeal and like really care about what they're wearing and, you know, like dress hot, always go home at the end of the night. That's my hot take.
I actually...
It's the innocent ones, the ones who like don't, you know, who are just very chill, jeans, top, that you think that girl goes home at the end of the night. No. She has 3 guys on rotation. She's wondering if she should go back to her ex-boyfriends tonight or if she should go to the new guy she's talking to. The girl who's dressed fancy and like into her outfit always goes home.
It's interesting how that happens. It's funny you say this.
Do you agree?
I saw a TikTok yesterday of a guy who was like, he was making like a cute video with his girlfriend, and he's like, when you finally pull the bottle girl, okay, and he like winks at the camera, and everyone was hating on him in the comments, like, bro, she's been with everyone, she's ran through this, that, ripping on her, calling her a whore, this, that. And there was a couple comments that were like, actually, like,
it's
it
the
is
other
a flex
way around,
because bottle girls are the hardest people, and I'm not saying the hardest, but I'm saying it, and I see it maybe because obviously I've worked in clubs for so long, but it's so true. I want to say maybe like 95% of the girls I know that I work with are like actually, one, so not like sleep around, so conservative with like what they do, never go home with guys. And also at the end of the day, we're working. The people that are coming to the club and going home with guys, we're cleaning tables at the end of the night and then we're going home. Like, no one's leaving with guys. I would say majority of the time, no one's leaving with guys. A lot of the time, the girls are very like either have boyfriends or very like conservative.
Yeah.
And they have so many options. And
that's what I was gonna say. There's also that they have so many options.
Yeah.
And also they hear the same fucking joke
Yeah.
from every Nick Harry, like every Joe, Nick, and Harry that walks in and is like trying to pull them. They're like,
100%.
oh God, just another Tuesday. Like, we deal with this all the time. Like, it's actually very hard to get the attention of a bottle girl because they see this shit day in and day out, and they just like don't even have. They're just like, oh
care.
God, they don't care. They're in and out. They're there to make their money. They don't give a fuck about you. And I think people always have this perception that it's like, ooh, a bottle waitress girl is so easy to get. Sorry, a waitress girl is so easy to get because like she's there and she's hustling. What's the other way around? She's there and she's hustling. She don't give a fuck about you. She just want the money.
I just think it's so interesting, that perspective, and it's kind of what you're saying. Like, the girl you would think, oh, she's always out of this, that. A lot of the times, is not the girl who's ran through.
Yeah, look, as they say,
I find it's an insane thing to say, but it's just so funny to me that people have that perception. I get it. I do get it, though. But it's like, it's so the opposite.
It's because men think with what they see, right? But like, if you really break it down, it's not what it is.
Yeah.
Most of the time. Anyway. Well, guys, thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of the X Podcast. It's always great to have Veronica back. Thank you. It actually means a lot that you just come back on. I know, like, putting on your makeup, coming into a fucking stupid show that's not yours anymore.
Today, by the way. 30 degrees.
Well, we won't even talk about that. That's why I'm really thanking you. Like, she could be tanning right now, but she did this for me. So, thank you.
It's always fun to come on.
Yeah.
Like this new studio.
Miss it? Little. But like, now you have your dose for the next 2 months.
Yeah, I'm good. You're like, in the 2 months, then I ask you to come back.
You know what to do. Like, follow, and subscribe.
The X you keep coming back to.